What is going on, FA Nation? John Pembe here with Mark Pitts. Welcome into the Fantasy Slam MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Show. That's right, we're being joined by Mark Pitts here today. A little camera technical difficulties from Mark, but you still got to hear his sweet, subtle tones there. Mark, how we doing?
I was doing better 5 minutes ago when the Bruins had the lead, but this is a baseball show.
It is.
Doing good. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good. Obviously, as Bruins fans, it would have been nice for them to hold on to that 2-1 lead here, but we'll see. You know, Panthers are a good team, but like you said, you can use a little MLB to distract us. We got 12 games here to break down on this main slate. We appreciate you all tuning in here. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It is a free way to support the work we do here over on the Fantasy Slam YouTube channel. Of course, if you haven't already given us a follow on Twitter, you can do that as well. We're here to answer your DFS and betting questions. Mark, since we got 12 games, I say let's not waste any time getting into it here. Going to bring up the slate. Pitching is interesting. Top price pitcher feels like, we've hit that go around in the rotations here. Yamamoto, 10-5 is your top priced pitcher in San Francisco. Reynaldo Lopez, $9,700 at home against the Cubs. Opposite of him, though, we got the show going up against the Atlanta Braves, 93. Mitch Keller against Milwaukee at 92, and George Kirby at home against the Royals at 9K. Those are your top 5 priced starting pitchers. Where do you find yourself looking to go here?
So this feels like Tuesday's slate, where we had Yamamoto and Imanaga, and we didn't know which to go with. On Tuesday, we went with Imanaga against the Cubs, or not against the Cubs. I forget who we played. Who did he play?
Padres,
yeah. But this time around, I think Yamamoto is who I'd rather pitch. The Giants are bottom 10 in WOBA. They're only 22% strikeout rate, which isn't great, but I mean, he's got built-in win equity.
Yes.
And Reynaldo Lopez, I mean, he's been good, but I don't think I could pay this for him. He's only got 14 points his last 2 games.
Yeah.
You got Cody Bellinger hitting a home run every other day. 97.
Morel's heating up. They got Seiya Suzuki back. Like, that lineup is back to full strength basically for them there.
And then, I mean, Imanaga is terrific, but the Braves, I mean,
right,
kind of worried there. And George Kirby, I cannot see myself using him. I know he's been amazing and he's been terrible. He had that 42-point game, but the Royals have the second lowest strikeout rate in the league at 17%, 17.8%. I don't know what his ceiling is going to be in this game, and he's not getting a lot of run support. The Mariners are striking out a ton, so I think Yamamoto is the top play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously the pricing's there for him. You mentioned the matchup for San Francisco. Offense hasn't really been there for them, and the win equity built in for Yamamoto. At 10-5, you obviously would like to see a few more strikeouts go his way. He'll only manage the 5 or so strikeouts against Miami in his last time out. I obviously had the over in his fantasy points there. You and I were kind of sweating those out over an underdog in prize picks. And fortunately for us, they sent him back out for that 8th inning. He got the outs. He got the strikeout there and was able to get over to the total we were looking for. But you do want to see him maybe punch a couple more guys out. The Reynaldo Lopez play here, again, he's been great, 1.53 ERA on the season, but, he go look at his expected ERA, it's at 3.7, his xFIP's at 3.78, so certainly some expected regression to go his way. Don't love 3.5 walks per 9, even if it's with a 9K per 9, so it's good that he's missing bats, but, these free passes lately can only lead to, big innings eventually coming for him if he's due to regress there, and that Cubs lineup certainly getting a bit healthy. I do agree with you on the Kirby front. Again, Kansas City, you look at that lineup, you really are mostly afraid of Bobby Witt. The rest of those guys sort of get hot at times. Michael Massey, you couldn't get him out for a week. Salvador Perez has the home run power. MJ Melendez comes and goes. Michael Garcia at one point got so hot, DraftKings had him at like $5,000. But there's always Bobby Witt, and that's obviously always something to worry about there. And then we jump down into this 8K range. Brady Singer, someone that you and I, we go off and on whether or not we trust him or not. He's been really good except for every start, I think, against the Toronto one when we played him. Are you looking, given the strikeout upside of that the Seattle matchup brings, to a guy like Brady Singer, where he usually sits in that like 5 to 6 strikeout range, and maybe he can get up 7 or 8 strikeouts here.
I mean, it's just like last year where I just can't get this guy right. I think I played him maybe 2 times this year, and it's been just bad each time. I picked the wrong day,
The
but
White Sox, I know for sure we played him against the White Sox.
yes, like
100%.
I thought it was a lock,
Yeah.
and he didn't get there. But I mean, we saw the 10 strikeouts against the Twins in the first game, and this could very easily be a ceiling strikeout game for him. I'm not going to say he's going to get 10, but
Yeah.
the Mariners, they're striking out 29.1%, leading the league. I haven't been willing to pay when he was 9K plus, but
Sure.
8,800, given how many strikeouts we might be expecting here, I do have some interest.
Where are you with Cutter Crawford? Obviously, we talked a lot about the Tampa Bay's offensive struggles. They are starting to come around a little bit. Randy Rosarena's had a couple of nice games here. Isaac Paredes offers some power. They got Josh Lowe back. But Cutter Crawford's been one of the better pitchers in baseball, really out of nowhere this season. His lone struggled start there came against the Cubs. Everything else looked pretty good. Goes up against Atlanta in Atlanta, holds them to 2 runs, 6 strikeouts. The problem is generally the Red Sox don't provide a ton of win equity in those spots, but against Tampa Bay, maybe he does have some more potential to pick up some wins here in this game.
This is a game where I like both sides. I don't have any faith in the Red Sox lineup. I don't have any faith in the Rays lineup.
Right.
Obviously, I think Siri hit a grand slam earlier today on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Hell of a bat flip from that guy. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I'd be willing to pay for Crawford. Yeah, I mean, if you dodge the Rosarena home run, I mean, there's just not a lot of. There's nothing to be scared of in this lineup. I mean, sure, they can come through, but they just haven't consistently enough.
mhm.
And Cutter Crawford's just been amazing. But at the same token, like I'd pay for Eflin. He's another guy. He burned us when we played him against the White Sox.
He did. Yeah. Big time. It's
But
just the win equity, right? He bounced back in Chicago last time out, 7 innings, 1 earned, had 3 strikeouts, got you 20 fantasy points. Would have had you 19 fantasy points if they were able to kind of keep that game against Milwaukee. Now, granted, they lost that game 7-1, but he still managed 15 fantasy points out of that outing. So I can see both sides of the coin there. Boston has hit righties a little bit better over their recent sort of stretch run there, while Tampa Bay, 3-3 WOBA, 24% strikeout rate. Boston kind of sitting in the middle of the pack there as well recently against right-handed pitching. It could also just be a spot where maybe we don't really touch or focus in on either spot necessarily. But I don't really want to go Tanner Bybee against Texas. Christopher Sanchez I like, but against the Mets at $7,900, I'm unsure about. Hicks against the Dodgers we won't play. Ashcraft versus Arizona, not really for me.
Nope.
Where do you sit with Jordan Montgomery against Cincinnati here? The price tag on Montgomery, $7,500. I know he hasn't been great, but he's coming off of a good start against this same team in a much tougher place to pitch, which was in Cincinnati. Would you run it back with him in the same matchup?
I would. I mean, of my favorites, he's maybe 5th, 6th on the list,
Sure.
but 7,500. I mean, the Reds, for as much power and they steal and they have Ellie De La Cruz and
Right.
they also strike out a lot. So, and I mean, I always expect the Diamondbacks to give him run support. So,
especially against Graham Ashcraft, Corbin Carroll starting to heat up. Last 2 weeks, Cincinnati Reds against left-handed pitching, 28th in WOBA, just a 238 WOBA, an 068 ISO against left-handed pitching, which is almost impossible to do worse. Maybe to that token, I kind of skimmed by Christopher Sanchez, but maybe that was a mistake. Last 2 weeks, 14-day numbers against left-handed pitching here. The New York Mets, 181 weighted on base percentage, terrible. 053 ISO, awful. 26% strikeout rate and a 118 batting average. Maybe they're forgetting to take their bat to the plate when a lefty's on the mound, but those are atrocious numbers against left-handed pitching over the last couple of weeks here for the New York Mets. I mentioned here Sanchez at $7,900, pitching pretty damn well, right? So maybe it's my fault to quickly skim by him. Used to some of these guys on the Mets hitting lefties well, like Alonso and Lindor and whatnot. But this could be a knockout spot for Sanchez here.
Yeah, I like it. He's affordable if you want to use Yamamoto and then use him at 7,900.
Right.
Still fit in some bats. What do you make of Trevor Williams?
I mean, you've heard me talk on this show about him, right? I did a live stream with Henry Wilson a few weeks back when he pitched, and he just felt uncomfortable pitching Trevor Williams and said, "Listen, I get it, but the man isn't giving up runs." You look at his Fangraphs page, and over the course of his career, he's been a guy that sort of like floats around like an xFIP of 4, but he has had seasons where like he just gets by. Pitching that way. And now you look at his numbers here. The 7.36 K per nine, not great. 2.9 walks per nine's not terrible, better than it's been over his career. Hasn't given up a home run yet this season. So you're like, all right, there has to be some regression indicators. And there are, but not as bad as you would expect. A 1.96 ERA. His expected ERA is 3.25 FIP, 3.81 xFIP. So sure, there will be a regression point. He will give up probably 2 or 3 home runs in a game at some point here.
Right.
A guy that has just a 49% ground ball rate, which is pretty okay, but not as high as you would expect it to be. He's just not getting any hard contact against him. Shuts out Baltimore, shuts out Texas. If there's one reason to be concerned, maybe it's the pitch count. They haven't let him go more than 80 pitches in any of these outings since opening day.
Right.
But I mean, the White Sox, maybe you throw Trevor Williams out there as a dart. I mean, the man got 30 fantasy points in the game. He threw 5 innings.
He two-hit the Orioles. He struck out 8 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's got 4 wins, so I don't really think that the Nationals have win equity ever, but they got the White Sox. So if he's getting a win on top of, 15 or so points, bring him up to 20
out there. So
who is another one that I always expect him to get blown up, and last game he dominated. He crushed.
Tampa Bay, yep. Pitched okay against Minnesota. So he's definitely has Tampa Bay's number here, right? 5 shutouts, 6 1/3 in the 2 of his 3 starts here. So I don't foresee myself pitching Chris Flexen against the Nats, though.
God, no.
Soriano is somebody, he was pitching really well in this game against Pittsburgh, then got blown up, but he had shut out Cleveland before that, got blown up by Minnesota, shut out Cincinnati. 0 earned runs there. Howard's been the guy that's been on Jose Soriano at times. Any interest there for him at 6,200 or 6,500 rather?
I wouldn't do it. I just think there's already 8 other guys we talked about that had play. So
right, 12-game slate, a lot of pitching options. Soriano is a guy that gets sort of pitching as good as he is going to. The 4.3 ERA. 4.3 xFIP, 4.02 or 4.3 FIP, 4.02 xFIP. So he's a 4 ERA pitcher. That's how he's pitching right now. You'll have some good games, you'll have some bad games. Just kind of the way it works there. Anybody else for you at pitching that you want to talk about here?
We skipped over him up at the top, but like Mitch Keller,
sure.
I don't know what to do with him. How are you feeling in this matchup? Because I thought his numbers were worse against lefties. He's allowing like a 4.60 slug.
Yeah, my worry here is that it's in Milwaukee, a righty. So, I don't know.
They have tons of lefties, but
tons of lefties.
I thought the Phillies were going to smash him, and he did okay.
Obviously he struggled in a weird spot. He faced Milwaukee already, 5 innings, 4 earned runs in that game. Willie Adames obviously hits righties really well at home. Rhys Hawkins has been really good lately. William Contreras. Then you throw in, they have Christian Yelich back. They have other lefties in that lineup. Terang. I don't think I go there coming off of a complete game as well. I almost feel like there's some regression coming to that start, obviously. So probably a no for me. I probably fade that.
But would you stack against him? Because this is where I'm having.
It depends on what rostership looks like. If tomorrow comes out and maybe there's like 18% on Mitch Keller, I would consider Milwaukee. But if nobody's playing Mitch Keller, then I don't really have a reason to stack against.
That's fair. That's fair.
Catcher position, we go over this all the time. We kind of find our cheapest value. Both you and I today independently landed on Jose Trevino. I had him in the playbook, 2,900, put him in there, he homered. All right, that's the dream. You find yourself a 3 catcher. He homers and you go dance. I don't
know if you heard me, but he homered twice today.
He homered even better, right?
30 points.
I didn't catch the second homer. Did some Mother's Day things today. Even better. He was in the playbook. He was the value catcher I put in there. I had him in my lineup at $2,900. He homered find the value catcher on the slate, put him in your lineup, and move forward. Save yourself some money, because if you hit the right day, you smash the slate. He was only I think he was 8% rostered in the $12 single too. So, there was some really good value.
And I'm fine with 2 points. If he gets a walk at 2,500 or 2,900, that's fine.
You probably get Reese McGuire here at 3K with the righty on the mound against Eflin. Let's see, anything cheaper. They've been playing Yasmani Grandal a lot lately. $2,700 for him. He's kind of past his prime, but
he homered the other day, didn't he?
What?
I think he homered. Yeah, he homered the other day. So
he homered too. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some power in his bat. That's about all he's got left. No, got a lefty. You probably get Naito there against Sanchez, but I kind of want to use Sanchez now, looking after those numbers. So we'll see what the lineups come out. We'll do a live show again at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have all the lineup updates. Hopefully by then, or at least some of them, we can kind of put together a picture of where we want to go with the catcher position on this slate. Moving on over to first base. Ohtani was dealing with some back tightness. They didn't have him play Sunday. We'll see if he gets back into the lineup. But you got Freeman. You got Harper with lefty, Josh Naylor, someone that you and I were definitely in on this offseason at 54. I'm not going to go Olsen against the show there. Maybe Spencer Steer at 5K, knowing how he said lefties on Montgomery's recent struggles. Like, what are you thinking here?
I mean, I like Naylor. I mean, obviously I like Freeman. I like Ohtani if Ohtani plays. I just go down to Naylor. Lorenzen's not been good. His numbers against lefties, though, he's only allowing a 111 average on the year.
Probably a sample size thing, right? He's only starts.
Yeah, he's only faced 44 batters, but
yeah.
Naylor's got 4 home runs in his last 10 days.
Is Naylor leading the league in RBIs again? Remember last year, he led the league in RBIs for a long stretch. You're like, where did this come from here?
It was for like 2 months. He just kept doing it. Yeah.
Every time I go to the MLB stats page, I laugh to myself that Steve Kwan leads the league in batting average. Naylor is 8th in RBIs in terms of the American League. Salvi Perez is 3rd. It's without that. So, anyways, just stunned myself with the Perez RBI numbers. 33 RBI for Salvi Perez. That's damn impressive for him.
That is very impressive.
Yes. All right. So Naylor there, 100% a great spot for him. I guess Perez, there's some consideration there. Also didn't realize he was hitting 330. We're having a breakout Salvi Perez season right now.
And people are down on him. They thought he was going to lose playing time. People are saying all kinds of stuff.
Right? Yeah, he's smashing right now. So those are probably the top 2 guys I would go to, and I agree with you, Freeman or Ohtani, if they're certainly in play here. Mid-tier options, what are you taking a peek at?
I mean, I don't know how you feel about Bybee. So
sure,
I don't mind Nathaniel Lowe, but
I would like to use the Rangers. Bybee's fine. The Rangers were obviously disappointing in Coors. I expected way more production out of them in that series. They lost 3-1 today. I mean, where's the offense when you're in Colorado? What happened? Right. We got a dead ball area here or something like that. Like, what's going on? So you could certainly go Nathaniel Lowe if you want. Again, I mentioned Rhys Hoskins has been pretty hot lately.
Crushing the ball.
If you wanted to take a peek there, Pascantino's 45. Dakota Hudson sucks. If you wanted Cronenworth or Araz, I know Araz is more so just like get on base and hope he scores a couple of runs, but they're kind of in that range. Bowers against Keller too. Again, if you're not in on Keller's spot there. But first base doesn't really have for 12 games. I'm kind of, scrolling around. I don't love a lot of what I'm seeing here.
There's not much down there. I mean, I think you just pay up.
Yeah. You got Burleson at 3K, I guess, maybe. You got Soriano if you're not buying into that. It's been better of late. Do we have a Carpenter? If they go Carpenter again, I would go that 2,500.
25. Yeah, leading off. Well,
leading off. He had a walk and a hit today. He gets a righties on the mound. I bet Carpenter's back in that lineup, so I'd go Carpenter if it's 2,500.
I mean, if you think Trevor Williams is going to regress, Andrew Vaughn's 2,700. Sure. I don't really use the White Sox much outside of Eloy, but 2,700.
Where's Gavin Sheets? Did they take away his first base eligibility?
I don't think he has it.
That's too bad. Yeah. Dave Candelario first base eligibility 3,500 against Montgomery there. All right, let's move on over to second. We'll get a lineup built here at the end of the show. Up top, Altuve, Semien, Albies versus a lefty. But it is Shota Imanaga, so we'll have to wait and see if we want to play the splits or not. Jimenez, Marte, your 5K and above guys.
I just start with Altuve, considering how stripling, how he pitched last game,
right?
Or how he didn't pitch. I don't know how you want to call it. Altuve, yeah, fine with that. I like Jimenez. I don't like his price ever. I can't
Yeah,
say
they just price him at 5K because they're like, oh well, he can steal bases and hit home runs, but he hasn't done it in like a year and a half. So
yeah. So I like Terang.
You're just not gonna answer the Albies question. Are we gonna tempt Aussie Albies here?
Oh, I thought you said you weren't gonna. I mean, yeah, you can use them. I probably personally will not,
Okay.
but maybe someone will.
I'm sure. Hey, you played him the other day when nobody was on him because everybody played Semien, so it all
true.
worked out. You got Rosario and Massey again. I like Crawford, but I don't mind going up against Kirby there in the mid tier. Nico Horner led off and continues to hit the ball pretty well. Had another stolen base today.
Still
4K,
only 4K.
Yeah, he's not a 4K hitter. He's like a $4,500 hitter when he's going good. And if you're not in on Reynaldo Lopez, or even think like Reynaldo Lopez is going to be just okay, like I think Horner can certainly be played here at 4K.
He might just walk him and give him a free steal.
Exactly, 100% in agreement with you. So I like that price for sure. What
Luis Garcia, I mean, against Chris Flexen.
Yep, I like that. Lefty bat.
Get on base steal.
Nolan
He
Gorman's
broke the Slate a couple weeks ago or a week ago.
Nolan Gorman's got some power at $3,400. Do we have Luis Renifo? Let's see here. He's on the IL as well. So him and Drury both hit the IL. I wasn't sure if he's coming back yet or not, but nope. Out with illness, which is kind of weird, right? Like
he's in the IL with illness.
That's what it says. Illness was placed on 10-day IL. So it's too bad because they got a lefty. We could have used him there. All right, Nolan Gorman was 34. I like that. Whit Merrifield led off today. I don't know if that was just like an off day thing, but another lefty's on the mound. Maybe if we see that at $3,200, I could give it a peek there. Joey Ortiz, he hit 5th, I want to say, today. Lefty bat there against Keller, right? Lefty bat? No, righty bat against Keller. All right, so maybe he's not.
Where did Grissom hit?
He's been hitting in the second half of that lineup, I want to say. But he's super cheap still.
Yeah, he's free.
Let's see. MLB lineups, Red Sox here. Grissom hit. Yeah, he hit 7th today. Went 1 for 4 with a run. So, all right, let's move on over to third base. Jose Ramirez, 6K. Alec Boehm against a lefty at $5,600. Muncie's up to 52 against Hicks there. Devers 5K against Eflin. Riley left today's game with side tightness, so we'll see if he's in or out. But again, we're probably not looking to go against Imanaga too much here.
Yeah, I just go with Jose Ramirez. I don't believe in Michael Lorenzen at all. Muncie, 5,200 is kind of pricey.
Yeah. You need the home run, right?
Yeah, it's basically a home run or nothing. So, I mean, he's got 9 of them, so he can do it. He had a 3 home run game.
4 of them? 3 of them came in one game, though.
Right.
So that happens there. Mid-tier guys, you got Morel, a lot of power, obviously. They're at $4,400. Josh Rojas still hitting the ball, still hitting over 400 the last 10, 900 OPS. So you're not in on Singer. Rojas at $4,200 right there.
Yeah, I think they were hitting him leadoff. I don't know if that's still the case, but
yeah,
he's been fine. He can steal. Let's see. Below that,
yeah, Josh Smith's 4K. Talk Candelario already a little bit. I mean, I don't know how much you want to go in on Oakland. Obviously, Arrighetti hasn't been anything great.
Where's Abraham there?
Toro was
second base,
first base, and something else, right? Let's see. Just second base only. Yeah, just second base there. So it could go Abraham Toro. We can talk about it in a second, but switch hitter. If you're not in on Spencer Getty there. But not much else down here at third. What do you got? Yeah, it's probably it at third base.
Yeah, it drops off.
As Howard says, when you hit Danny Mendick, you move on. And Matt Carpenter's down here if you wanted to play him at third as well. So if you want to spend up for like a Freeman and punt third with Carpenter, that's an option for you. Shortstop. Mookie Betts, your top price guy. Bobby Witt, Ellie De La Cruz. We have 3 shortstops over $6,000. Abrams and Seager round out the 5K range.
And you can play any of them.
Can play any single one of them. No arguments. Won't fight you on any of that.
I'd say at least like Ellie, but he can also just get on base, steal 3 bags, and pay off his price tag.
Like he did the other day. Basically, just every time he got on base, he stole. I was
right.
Like, damn this man.
But CJ Abrams is Chris Flexen. I really like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you there. Yeah, and you got the Adames matchup at home versus a righty. $4,600 there. Jeremy Pena keeps on hitting the ball. He hit second today. I don't know what they're doing with that lineup. I know Tucker let off because there's no Altuve, but if Houston's shaking some lineup things around, Jeremy Pena certainly earned the right to hit in the top half of that Houston lineup. So $4,400, really not too much. Not out of the price range for the way he's been playing. If you wanted to go there,
yeah. And then Ha-Seong Kim. He's day to day.
Yeah, he got hit in the wrist today with a pitch. I don't think he's going to play. They said his hand was in like one of those inflatable like decompression casts. X-rays were negative. He says he's feeling better now. So I would imagine they'd probably give him the day off. You got Nico Horner here. You got dual positional eligibility if you want to go there. Let's see. Could go NATO 3,200 against Liberatore. I kind of like that.
Yeah, are they still leading him off?
I think it depends on the splits. Obviously,
he lefty.
Lefties really well this season, so that lineup is kind of trash looking though. Now they don't have Trout, they don't have Renifo. Like they had Kevin Pillar hitting cleanup for them the other day. Like it just hasn't been great, but it provides a lot of value.
Right.
If you want to go there, Mason wins $3,100. Ceddanne Rafaela is $3,000 if you wanted to go with the Red Sox guys here. You asked the other day, like, why does Paul DeJong keep hitting home runs? If you're not in on Trevor Williams, I guess there's a chance that keeps happening. He's 2,800.
Yeah. No issues with him.
I had nothing else down here, though.
Below that, yeah. Yeah, unless you want these other cheap Red Sox guys.
Yeah, Romy Gonzalez or something like that. Not really.
I think he let off today on Sunday, but
yeah, that's the state of the Red Sox player.
Not going to go there.
Outfield again. Ohtani's questionable. We'll see if he's in or not. Acuna gets Imanaga at 63. Kyle Tucker led off today. He homered. We'll see if he leads off again. Altuve should be back today. He did not play on Sunday. I imagine that's why Tucker led off, but still homered. You got Jordan against Stripling. I kind of like in Houston against that Stripling matchup.
Oh yeah,
for sure. Where else are you looking?
I mean, you already said Tucker, but like my favorite play is going to be Kyle Tucker.
Sure.
After that, I mean, I really don't want to. I don't want to stack Braves. Like
I don't either, right? But they all hit lefties so well.
It's really tempting. After that, Tatis homered on Sunday.
Sure.
Let's see.
Give Carroll a look. Now he's back up to 5K here. He's been hitting the ball better lately.
Yeah, you go there. Ashcraft is okay. Nothing special. Yelich, you go with him. J-Rod homered again.
He did.
Seiya Suzuki, 48.
Yeah, they did. They wasted no time kind of just pricing him up again. Brian Reynolds gets Colin Ray, $4,500. Pages is $44. Jock Peterson gets Ashcraft at $43. Not terrible in the mid-tier. Castellanos, maybe one of the hottest hitters in baseball, gets a lefty again, and Sean Manaea.
Throw him in.
$4,200. Power's there.
And Manaea's been better than like I thought he was going to be, but it's Sean Manaea.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I agree. Let's see what else we got down here. Donovan's 41. Profar's been really good against righties this season. $4,100 for him as well. Brett Rooker homered again. We'd probably go Rooker against Arrighetti here at 4K.
This guy is a monster.
Like, what is happening? 300 hitter with 1,000 OPS now. Like,
Out of nowhere. I mean, I know he did it last year, but
honestly, out of nowhere. Like, and you're right. He hit 30 home runs last year, but he wasn't. I don't know.
I didn't think that's just who he is. I thought he just they had a Chris Morel streak, and
I mean, he's not going to hit 300.
No,
but if he does, okay. Play him now while he's 4K because he's probably a 5K player. He's got 10 home runs. The leader's got 13? He's almost there. Weiler's fine for me at 4K if you wanted to go there. I always say Eloy under 4K because I just believe that he's a better player than that.
He lets me down every time I use him.
Every time, every damn time. Jesse Winker's, I think in play. Recent run of recent down stretch has kind of hurt his overall numbers, but there was a stretch there where he was super hot. So if you wanted to go there, I think that's fine against Flexen.
Sawinski?
Yeah, Sawinski's always got some power against Colin Ray. That's fine. Jacob Young, we know, has multi-stolen base potential, had led off 3,600 for Flexen, could go there. JD homered, gets a lefty. Joe Adele against a lefty here. I mean, this guy's been a menace lately.
Oh, yeah. 3,500, perfect price.
Yep. Great price for the value there. Duvall, we're not going to go there. The Sheets is 34.
I mean, Bleday's been okay too. I don't really want to stack a bunch of A's, but JJ Bleday's been fine.
I mean, the A's offense has been good. Howard pointed this out, the other day. They're just they just keep hitting. And Bleday was one of the top prospects, top 100 prospect, part of the trade there with Luzardo. So I mean, there's definitely some potential value in his talent there.
What did they hit? Something like 16 home runs in a 6-day stretch or something?
Yeah, it was something absurd. They're just smashing the baseball right now. You want to go Bleday Rooker stack? I'm not going to sit here and tell you no against Spencer Arrighetti. So
I'd imagine no one's playing them, especially on a 12-game slate. So
probably not.
They could easily break it.
Yeah. Again, Pilar had been hitting in the cleanup spot. He's $3,300. If he's there again against Liberatore, could go in that direction. Liberatore's supposed to be the opener. I don't know what's going to come after him, but something to at least talk about. Let's see. Any other value down here? We talked Merrifield already. Probably not. That might be it for me. Are you seeing any names you like?
Nah, not particularly.
Right. Let's get a lineup built here. You like Yamamoto, so we'll plug in the top guy there, and then
you want to use Chris Sanchez?
Yeah, let's go Sanchez. That gives us 39.50. Value catcher down here again. McGuire's 3K. Do we have an obvious cheaper spot down here? Or using Sanchez? Go Grandal for now, 2,700.
Works.
All right. Do you want to play Carpenter in at first or third?
Third?
Third? Okay. Spell his name right. That'd be easier.
25.
2,500. Right. So we got $4,400 here. I mean, I kind of think you have to play Rooker just the way he's hitting.
He's got 10 home runs.
That's what I'm saying. Just the way he's hitting, I feel like you kind of have to play Brent Rooker. That's about 4,500. You like Naylor? I'm definitely in on Naylor.
But do you stack Rooker, or are you just a one-off? I'm fine with the one-off.
You might one-off him.
Chasing power.
Yeah, I think you one-off him. We talked Horner. Where do you want to? What position do you want to approach last? We got 4,250 a play here.
I mean, who do you want to attack? Do you want to attack Chris Flexen? Do you want to get some Astros in there?
Yeah, probably. They're also expensive though. But let's see. If we did Kyle Tucker, that gives us 3,600 a play. We definitely had a value. Where was Joe Dell? 35. Okay, that was 35. This probably puts us at NATO at short then. Yeah, 32, and that gives us a 4,200 second baseman.
What's Horner for?
Horner, yeah, 4K. There you go. All right. We got an example lineup spinning up for Yamamoto. Value pitcher Christopher Sanchez, 79. Yasmani Grandal's our catcher plug here for value. Josh Naylor, Nico Horner, Matt Carpenter, Zach Nato, Brent Rooker, Kyle Tucker, Joe Adele. Not a lot of lineup correlation here, but again, just an example lineup that you can build going over this first slate. Again, we'll be back live 4 p.m. Eastern time today with our live stream, so make sure you check that out. Updated lineup, slate preview. We're here to answer all of your questions. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't done so already. It's a free way to support what we do here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube channel. For myself and Mark Pitts, good luck with your research, everybody, and we'll catch you all later.